Warcraft is a 2016 fantasy film directed by Duncan Jones, based on the popular video game series Warcraft, also known as World of Warcraft. The movie is set within the anecdotal world of Azeroth and centers on the strife between the human kingdom of Stormwind and the Orcish Swarm. Here's a brief outline of the plot. The film starts with the Orcish crowd, driven by the orc chieftain Durotan, escaping their biting the dust world of Draenor through an enchanted entry made by the warlock Gul'dan. They arrive in Azeroth with the purpose of colonizing the realm and gathering its life drive to maintain themselves. In the meantime, within the human kingdom of Stormwind, ruler Lane Rin and his trusted knight, Anduin Lothar, ended up mindful of the Orcish risk. They look for the help of the withdrawn mage Medivh, who is the gatekeeper of Azeroth and keeps up the entry. In any case, it gets to be clear that Medivh is beneath the impact of dull enchantment, and his activities contribute to the developing struggle. As the orcs proceed to development, Durotan realizes that Gul'dan's dim enchantment is adulterating their world and oppressing their individuals. He shapes a union with a human outsider named Gul'dan, who serves as an interpreter between the two groups. Together, they endeavor to discover a way to halt Gul'dan and spare both the Orcish and human civilizations. The climax of the motion picture includes a confrontation between the people and orcs within the city of Stormwind. Through a combination of collusions, penances, and epic fights, the fate of Azeroth hangs within the adjust. Warcraft investigates topics of devotion, honor, and the complexities of war. The film's story to a great extent centers around the strife between people and orcs, with different characters from both sides contributing to the general story. It's critical to note that the film is an adjustment of the video diversion arrangement, and whereas it draws motivation from the game's legend, it takes imaginative freedoms to fit the medium of the film. The motion picture presents a few key characters from the Warcraft universe. Here are a few of the outstanding characters included in the film. Anduin Lothar, Travis Fimmel. Lothar could be a gifted warrior and the lead hero of the motion picture. He serves as the military commander of the collusion strengths and could be a key figure in the battle against the attacking orcs. Durotan, Toby Kebbell. Durotan could be a chieftain of the Frostwolf clan among the orcs. He looks to discover a new home for his individuals, and questions the thought processes of Gul'dan and the Burning Army. Gul'dan, Daniel Wu. Gul'dan may be a powerful warlock who uses dim enchantment and could be a central opponent in the film. He serves as a mannequin of the satanic Burning Army and controls the orcs to serve his vile purposes. Medivh, Ben Cultivate. Medivh is the gatekeeper of Tirisfal, a mage with colossal enchanted control who keeps up the adjust between Azeroth and other domains. Be that as it may, he gets to be adulterated, which leads to devastating consequences. Garona Halforson, Paula Patton. Garona could be a half-orc, half-Draenei character who plays a noteworthy part within the motion picture. She gets to be a bridge between the two groups, helping the collusion as a spy. King Lane Rin, Dominic Cooper. King Lane is the pioneer of the Kingdom of Stormwind and a staunch shield of the collusion. He looks to ensure his individuals and his domain from the attacking orcs. Blackhand, Clancy Brown. Blackhand is a fearsome orc chieftain and serves as one of Gul'dan's most steadfast supporters. He leads the orc strengths in their ambush on Azeroth. Khadgar, Ben Schnetzer. Khadgar could be a young mage who becomes a key partner of the organization together. He finds the corruption within Medivh and endeavors to stop the looming peril. Orgrim Doomhammer, Robert Kaczynski. Orgrim is Durotan's near companion and in the long run gets to be a crucial figure among the orcs. He includes an urgent part within the occasions of the motion picture. These are fair many of the numerous characters featured in the Warcraft motion picture. The film blends elements from the game's legend, so fans of the establishment may recognize and appreciate various other references and characters all through the story. I think you guys understand the characters. Let's start the movie. For ages, within the locale of Center Soil, people and orcs have been at war. Durotan, Toby Kebbell, is the chieftain of his Frostwolf orc clan, and he needs to elude the life of war as he and his spouse Draka, Anna Galvin, are anticipating there, to begin with the child. The orc clans come together as the Swarm. Their arrival in Draenor is on the brink of fate, so the vile orc warlock Gul'dan, Daniel Wu, plans to direct the crowd to the arrival of Azeroth. Gul'dan employs a dim shape of enchantment called Fel, which is made from passing. He has captured handfuls of Draenei detainees in cages and brought them to the door. The half-human, half-orc Garona, Paula Patton, is chained up and strolls past a few detainees who ask her to free them, in spite of the fact that it is past her control. After depleting the Draenei of their life drive, Gul'dan opens the entrance to Azeroth. The orcs storm through, but Draka conceals her pregnant stomach. Once they arrive, Draka encounters torment. The other orcs find he is with child and chasten Durotan for permitting her to come through in her state. She begins to donate birth. Gul'dan loans his hand, and Draka gives birth to a stillborn orc boy. Gul'dan takes the life constraint of an adjacent deer to donate the boy's life. He presents Durotan's child to the Swarm as a modern warrior. In Ironforge, Commander Anduin Lothar, Travis Fimmel, is assembled with Lord Magni Bronzebeard, Michael Adamthwaite, who presents Lothar with a boomstick. Lothar is at that point summoned to the Kingdom of Stormwind after a battalion has been assaulted. Lothar goes to Stormwind and meets a mage named Khadgar, Ben Schnetzer, who is caught assessing the bodies. They discover one man's body, which retches green smoke from the mouth, meaning he was slaughtered with fell enchantment. Lothar and Khadgar meet with ruler Lane Rin, Dominic Cooper. They are sent to meet with the gatekeeper Medivh, Ben Cultivate, in Karazhan. Lothar and Khadgar discover Medivh chiseling a mammoth golem out of clay. As Lothar clarifies the circumstances to Medivh, Khadgar strolls through Medivh's library and sees a dull, shadowy figure prowling. The control of the figure draws Khadgar toward a certain book. As he goes to pick it up, Medivh appears up and pins Khadgar against the divider with his enchantment, sometime recently dropping him. Medivh joins Lothar and Khadgar as they go with a scouting group into the woodland to explore the fell enchantment. They are assaulted by a bunch of orcs, who continue to pound the people, in spite of the fact that Lothar is able to kill a great many. Medivh casts a spell that murders the green-skinned orcs, but does nothing to Durotan, his companion Orgrim Doomhammer, victimized Kazansky, or the warmongering Blackhand, Clancy Brown. Blackhand goes to assault Lothar, but Lothar shoots up Blackhand's hand with his boomstick. The surviving orcs elude. Durotan rides a horse past Garona, still in chains. He swings a hatchet to break her chain and free her. In any case, Khadgar holds her down with his enchantment, and she is captured by the people. Garona is brought to Lane's castle. She clarifies that her homeworld doesn't exist on the outline of Azeroth, which the orc armed force is coming to this world. She is at that point kept in a cell, but is given nourishment and consolation by Lane's wife and Lothar's sister, ruler Teria, Ruth Naga. Garona considers murdering Teria to bring honor among the orcs, but Teria says there would be no honor among her individuals. Blackhand stands before Gul'dan, who criticizes him for running from the people and permitting his men to kick the bucket, saying he is frail. Gul'dan endeavors to sentence Blackhand to pass, but Durotan intercedes, clarifying to Gul'dan that Medivh was controlling the Fel against them, in spite of Gul'dan claiming, as it were, he can control the Fel. Durotan and Orgrim sit together and watch the orc camps. Durotan feels that Gul'dan's enchantment is what brought forward the Rod of Draenor, and if he proceeds, Azeroth will endure the same destiny. Durotan needs Gul'dan to cease, but Orgrim feels they must keep up devotion to their individuals. Lane liberates Gul'dan on the condition that she be faithful to Stormwind. She guides Lane, Lothar, and others beneath Lane's command, counting Lothar's child Callan, Berkeley Duffield, to an assembly between them and the Frostwolf clan. Teria gives Gul'dan a small knife to guard herself. The orcs and people meet to arrange a détente in order to slaughter Gul'dan. Durotan comes forward to talk, with Gul'dan deciphering for Lane and Lothar. At that point, they are trapped by green orcs that are steadfast to Gul'dan, alongside Blackhand and his associates. The evil orcs fight the people in conjunction with Durotan and his clan. Medivh makes an obstruction between people and orcs, but Callan clears out the exterior. Lothar is incapable of eluding the boundary or dragging Callan in. Strike, with a modern claw hand, spears Callan and hurls his body toward his father. Medivh gets to be debilitated. He is brought back to his home and put into his mana pool. Khadgar sees Medivh's eyes shine green, demonstrating he's been tainted with the Fel enchantment. Khadgar also learns from the book he took from Medivh's library that Gul'dan may have offered assistance to somebody in Azeroth with opening the entrance. Khadgar clears out to look for assistance, whereas Medivh teleports Gul'dan back to Stormwind. Gul'dan finds Lothar in a room, tanked and grieving Callan's passing. She goes to his side to console him. Lothar says he no longer trusts Medivh. Orgrim talks to Gul'dan, who knows that Durotan has chosen to side against the crowd, driving to his detention while Blackhand takes out the Frostwolf clan. Gul'dan offers Orgrim a chance to use the Fel enchantment to become a more grounded orc. Khadgar rides a griffin above the clouds to the city of Dalaran. He meets with the other senior mage, all of whom are disappointed with Khadgar for clearing out their ages prior. He clarifies to the mages that they feel enchantment is spreading through Azeroth, which Medivh debases. Khadgar is brought to meet Aladi, Glenneer, a more seasoned gatekeeper, and the shadowy figure from Medivh's library. She intended to look for out Khadgar to summon him. Aladi says that Medivh has been battling an evil substance for a while, and he has since given into it, permitting himself to be debased by the Fel. Medivh is made to feel better in his pool by Moros, Callum, Keith Rennie. The pool shines green under the control of the Fel. Medivh retains Moros' life constraint, and he begins transforming into an orc-like animal. Lane holds a meeting to join together others as part of the collusion to battle against the crowd. Lothar isn't affectionate with the arrangement, and instead considers they ought to devastate the entrance to avoid more orcs attacking Azeroth. Medivh, in his human form, teleports to the assembly, getting under Lothar's skin when he notices Callan. Lane has Lothar put in a cell for him to calm down. Orgrim realizes his mistake and subtly liberates Draka and their child, whom Durotan had named Goel. Orgrim, at that point, goes to free Durotan. While he is irate at his companion, Durotan excuses him after learning that he let Draka and Goel elude. Lane and his men head out into the fight. Khadgar returns and liberates Lothar from his cell after turning a protector into a sheep. Khadgar, at that point, begins to utilize his enchantment to figure out a way to battle Medivh. Draka takes Goel to a waterway, where she places him in a bushel to send him to security. Another orc appears as Goel drifts away securely. Draka tears out the orc's throat with her teeth, but she is lethally speared. Durotan challenges Gul'dan to combat in front of the rest of the crowd. The two of them fight, with Durotan showing up to overwhelm Gul'dan until the warlock employs his enchantment to deplete Durotan of his life constraint, to the shock of the other orcs. Gul'dan inevitably kills Durotan, causing the other orcs to turn away from him. Gul'dan slaughters the green orcs that walk away, driving the others to remain by his side. At that point, he is standing by for Medivh to begin opening the entrance, whereas Gul'dan employs the life constraints of other detainees to keep it going. Lane and his armed force, now joined by Garona, start to battle the orcs as they begin attacking. In the meantime, Lothar and Khadgar attempt to battle Medivh, but he brings his clay golem to life, driving it to assault the two. Lothar oversees beheading the golem, but its body is still cognizant. Khadgar casts a spell to bring the golem down on Medivh because it turns to stone. Khadgar exorcises the evil presence from Medivh, bringing him back to normal, but he lays biting the dust underneath the golem. With his final breaths, Medivh switches the entry from Azeroth to Stormwind, letting a few of the prisoners go. Lothar rides his griffin toward the fight. Realizing they will most likely not win, Lane tells Garona to slaughter him so that there may be a chance for peace between the orcs and humans. It would also permit her to bring honor to herself among the crowd. With added hesitance, Garona dives her knife into Lane's neck sometime recently before Blackhand can strike. The orcs cheer on Garona and carry her toward Gul'dan, who invites her into the crowd. Lothar appears up to undertake and sees Lane dead with Garona's blade still in his neck. He tries to take Lane's body, but the orcs drag the griffin down as he tries to take off. Lothar is at that point constrained into combat against Blackhand, which is presently more effective with Fell Enchantment. With two quick moves, Lothar skewers Blackhand in reprisal for Callan's passing. Lothar wins the respect of the orcs, but Gul'dan needs them to kill him. He endeavors to do it himself, but Garona inclines him to stand down, or else he will be constrained to battle the other orcs. Lothar is at that point cleared out to require Lane's body to be absent. Lothar is left by himself in his room until Khadgar comes in. He finds Garona's knife that Lothar took out of Lane's neck, taking it off Lothar to accept that Garona intentionally betrayed Lane. A memorial service is held for Lane before the entire kingdom. Taria eulogizes her spouse and has Lothar stand in front of everybody, as he is presently set to lead the alliance. Everyone revives behind him. In the final scene, Goel appears, Goel still drifting down the waterway. Durotan's voice is heard, saying that his child will become the unused pioneer of the orcs that will bring peace among them. A man picks up Goel's bushel, and the infant snarls at him. Please keep in mind that this is just a summary of the plot and does not capture all the details and nuances of the movie. If you're interested in experiencing the full story, I recommend watching the film.